The White House briefing members of Congress as Ukraine braces for a possible Russian invasion as early as tomorrow. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan telling House Armed Service Committee members about a $1 billion aid offer and a near complete drawdown of the U.S. Embassy in Kiev. Joining us now, Congressman Pat Fallon, who was at Monday's briefing, joins us live. Congressman, in light of what you learned in that briefing, do you think an invasion is imminent?
Yeah, Todd, it seems like all indications are that, and unfortunately, that is the case. With Vladimir Putin, you never know. I think he tries to be, keeps the world guessing in a myriad of different ways. But it does seem likely that, unfortunately, that's going to take place.
We had an individual, Josh Mandel, running for Senate in Ohio on earlier. And here's what he had to say about his take on how Joe Biden is handling foreign policy, whether it's at the U.S. border or in Ukraine. Take a listen.
The Biden administration has public policy they're advancing, whether it's on our southern border or overseas, that makes no sense whatsoever. President Trump always put Americans first, which means if there's Americans in harm's way overseas, he would never in a million years force them to have a vaccine passport.
Congressman, your meeting there with Jake Sullivan, in that meeting, you got a firsthand look at the Biden foreign policy apparatus up front. Are you confident in Joe Biden's approach to Ukraine?
No, I mean, obviously not. I signed on to a letter back in October, Todd, that encouraged and really urged the president to send lethal aid to the Ukraine because then that would act as a deterrent and show the Russians that we really were intent on helping the Ukraine, if at all possible. And he dragged his feet, and that's inexplicable as to why. And then, one thing about President Trump that you can point to, and that's indisputable fact, that the Russians were not rattling their saber for the 4 years that President Trump was in the White House. In 2008, they stole 2 provinces in Georgia. In 2014, they stole the Crimea from the Ukraine. But they didn't do anything of the sort under the 4 years of President Trump. And I really do believe it's because he was projecting strength, and the Russians had, they feared him.
From a border that the Biden administration appears to want to secure to one that they have no inclination to do so, Republican lawmakers sending a letter to DHS Secretary Mayorkas demanding a full account of illegal immigrants released into the United States. And what stands out to me, Congressman, about this letter, it was your colleagues in Maryland and in Tennessee that drafted this letter. As Americans throughout all 50 states come to the realization that the crisis at our southern border is coming into their communities, is this the one issue that basically clinches Congress for Republicans come November?
Because it doesn't make any sense, Todd. First of all, Joe Biden, we have this really not even a crisis, but a catastrophe on the southern border because of 2 reasons. Joe Biden's weakness and his wokeness. And he has made every state, all 50 states are now border states. It's the first time in our history we had 11 months in a row of at least 150,000 illegal border crossings. The first time in our history we had 2 million illegal border crossings in 1 calendar year. And the drug cartels, the Mexican drug cartels, are making wild profits, and they're controlling our southern border. And Joe Biden has abdicated his responsibility. And I think come November, based on this pretty much this one issue, we're not going to be seeing a red wave. We're going to be seeing a red tsunami.
Congressman Pat Fallon, we really do appreciate your insight here on a Tuesday morning. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Todd.